And I think a lot of people, give up before they reach the gold mine, right? The ore.
Yeah, and usually it's right before.
Right before, and I remember there was times, going back to like the faith journey, like, I had fully devoted my life to Jesus at that point in time too. And I remember like being in church and like, just be like, what am I going to do? Like I needed X amount of sales and I was a quarter way there.
Yeah.
Like the gap was so large at that point in time. Right. And I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to do, God. Like, please show me a sign, give me something. And something in my heart just kept telling me one more day, then I would get a sale. I'd bring on a new advertising partner. Then one next day it happened again. And, looking at the larger picture for me, when I sort of break it down into smaller chunks, it's a little more manageable.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. Like, I don't have to climb the whole hill at once. I just, go up to the plateau, then go again, and then go again. So
I am here with Tim Ganley with Boise Real Producers. Tim, thank you so much for coming in today.
Thanks for having me.
Excited to get to know you and chat about Boise Real Producers. So I always like to start off a new episode with a little bit about you, your background. What do you like to do outside of business? Can you tell us about your business? Just who is Tim Ganley?
Yeah, I love the question. I was raised here in Boise, moved here when I was 2, so consider myself a native.
Yep.
I've seen the place grow immensely, and it's cool to sort of be part of that growth. Grew up above Quail Hollow Golf Course, so in the north end was sort of like my stomping grounds per se, I guess. Went to Hidden Springs Charter School, and that was like back when they were just double wide trailers, right? They didn't even have an actual school. That was a cool experience.
Yeah.
And that was when Hidden Springs was really small. I remember we would always go like ride our skateboards up to the Merc there after school and get like sodas and things, and that was a lot of fun. Then went to North Junior High and Boise High, so graduated there. Went to Colorado State my first year of school.
No kidding, I didn't know that.
Yeah, in Fort Collins.
Yeah.
Then came back to Boise State for the remainder of my college term. Never actually graduated college. But still, like, that was some great times, great memories. That was like the Kellen Moore era when I went to school. So really, really fun time to be at Boise State then. I growing up here, I've always like been an outdoorsy person. I've been skiing my whole life. My parents actually lied about my age to get me in ski school. So been skiing since I was like 2.
Nice.
Raced a lot when I was younger. And played soccer for a long time. Then did baseball in high school. Was always like athletically talented just enough like, to participate and like be okay.
Yeah.
But and that was like across all the sports I ever did. I never really like excelled super high into like elite level athletes, but I was always good enough to like do the things right. And the older I've gotten to, I've taken up golf. I started golf when I was really young, like 7, but never really like took it seriously until a little older, later in life. And not that I take it super seriously; it's a lot of fun.
Oh, you're pretty good. We've played a couple times, and it's always been a good time.
It's like being outdoors, I found solace in the outdoors, and it's sort of like peaceful for me going on hikes. I think one thing that's people don't know about me is I love to cook too. Oh. Yeah. It's like the kitchen is sort of like my safe space, right? So I'm a big cook. I love to do that. Cook for the family and everything. I just had a little baby.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you, little boy, Zayden. 4 months old now, and it's been such a journey to sort of see him grow already, even though we're still in the infancy stage.
Yeah.
And like how it's almost like my mindset, my mentality, my why is evolving. It's funny how that happens, and I knew it was going to happen. I just didn't know at the capacity that it was. Right.
Yeah.
So that's sort of a little bit about my background. Been here for a long time, and just love the area.
I love that. Yeah, there's not a lot of natives from what I can tell. You know, you run into a lot of people that are from another place, and I've known you for, gosh, a couple years now at least.
Yeah.
And we've met dozens of times, and I'm learning stuff. That's why I love these, because I'm learning stuff about you that I didn't know also.
Yeah.
What year were you at Fort Collins?
That
CSU?
was 2009, fall 2009 to spring of 2010.
That's
I was
awesome.
there. Yeah.
I did my first year of college in Colorado also.
Okay. Yeah.
I had a lot of friends that went to CSU.
Okay.
I went to Regis University in Denver.
Gotcha. Yeah.
I graduated high school in Denver.
Okay,
My
yeah.
parents had moved us there when I was a sophomore in high school, so
Yeah.
that's cool.
Really cool area.
Yeah, it really is.
Really love it. Fort Collins was awesome. I had family in Denver too, so I always go see my aunt and my uncle.
Yeah,
Up there, just really cool place. It had a lot of similar Boise vibes to it.
agree.
Just on a little larger scale.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I always laugh. I was just telling this story to somebody else. So Boise back in the day, even when I was in high school, it was still a pretty small town. Like even downtown wasn't super developed at that point in time.
Yep.
And I go to Colorado, I go to Fort Collins, and it's much more developed. And they have like all these national chain restaurants there too, right? When I was in high school, we even have a Chipotle in Boise. And so Fort Collins was like my first experience of Chipotle.
Yeah.
Right?
Chipotle and Qdoba, those are both big there.
Both big there. And like I had no idea what those were about until I got there. And just with the growth in Boise, now there's a ton of them. And you can find them, right?
Yeah.
So and we got a Raising Cane's, and we have In-N-Out. Like,
the growth here has been pretty incredible, and it's caused a lot of stress and havoc in some ways, just trying to keep up with the influx of people. But it's also created a lot of cool opportunity and new things coming to the town, which is really cool too. So you being a native, you've certainly seen it change dramatically.
Totally.
So that's pretty cool.
And there's a lot of old timers, I say, that like are hesitant towards it or not appreciative of it. But I think it's great for the community. With it comes more commerce, more business, great people too. Like people talk about all the Californians coming in, right? But what I've seen in the community, at least the people I'm talking to, is that the people that are coming here still represent the same values that we as Boiseans have. They're not trying to change the place, right? They like the outdoors. They like the people. So that is the biggest thing, is like the people that are coming are seem to be on the same wavelength and are being attracted like by the same people.
Yes,
so I appreciate
absolutely.
that too.
Oh man, the people in Boise are just unbelievable. It's something else. I mean, just different type of human being.
Yeah.
And it's really special to live here and raise kids here. It's a great place. So we've got a little bit of background about you, your family life, how you grew up, who you are. Tell us a little bit about business background.
Yeah.
I know you're running Boise Real Producers now, but what'd you do before that? What's kind of Tim's background, and then what led you to Boise Real Producers, and then tell us kind of what you're doing there too. So just let's peel that back.
So I come from I was very fortunate growing up, and I recognize that, right? Like I was very blessed. My mom was a doctor. My dad was an engineer. I had a lot of opportunities in life, right? So when I was going to school, I wanted to be a doctor, like follow my mom's footsteps. What I learned very quickly is I actually got hired to work in the ER, did that for like 2 years. And I was like, I don't want to be a doctor anymore, right? Like, so I drastically switched paths, and I was studying kinesiology at Boise State, and started working in a restaurant at that point in time. Was in fine dining at like Barbacoa, and it was P.F. Chang's at that point in time. That's where I really learned to like talk to people and how to properly present yourself in a proper manner, right? Those types of restaurants, especially the front of house staff, they're high expectations, right? Like you want to provide an A+ service for
hospitality.
Yeah, A+ pricing. Right. So did that for many years. Eventually, I realized that like most jobs like that, like I always had higher aspirations for myself, right? And I had these self-perceived expectations that were put on me that really weighed on my shoulders, and to live up to like my parents' standards, right? And I didn't want to get stuck in the cycle of restaurants, right? So I was looking for a new opportunity. Eventually, I'm sort of cutting through many phases
Sure.
of life.
Yeah.
Here, right?
Yeah.
So fast forward a couple years here. I wanted to dive into more of a sales position, sales role. So I started working at Bronco Motors, car sales. And what was great about that, there's a gentleman who was a very tenured guy, salesman, that took me under his wing and taught me everything there is about like the whole sales process, overcoming objections, closing, talking to people. So now I knew how to present myself, how to talk to people, but I was learning the sales process as well, right? Same concept there. What I saw very quickly is that the career path in that was, for lack of a better term, a elderly gentleman that was divorced and never saw his family, right? And I was like, I don't want that to be me, right? Like, I don't want that life. I don't want to get caught in this cycle too. I was spending 60 hours a week at a car lot, making good money, but it was like all my time. I was giving up all my time for my money, right? So that taught me time versus money, right? I was eventually looking for like a better opportunity, right? And this is so weird. Like, I was also in like my faith journey at that point in time. I was always very spiritual, but never really dove in as a Christian, right? And the whole part of the journey is like, I was looking at these things and something comes across my desk or my phone or I don't know, my mind, called wholesaling real estate. Right. So I was like, this is cool. Like, you're talking to people, you're sourcing the sales role, you're providing excellent value to community if you're doing it in a proper manner. And it's so funny because I really dove into it, and I had a 3-year plan to start my own wholesale business.
Nice.
Right. And I have a 3-ring binder full of like my step-by-step process. Right. And this is going to happen in 3 years, my transition out of the car sales. Within 6 months of me diving into this sort of path, I was reintroduced to an old friend, Casey Ames. Yeah, he's awesome. He was building luxury homes at that point in time, was wholesaling and flipping houses. And we reconnected just by randomness. And he's like, Tim, I'm already doing this. Why don't you come work with me and I'll teach you everything I know. So I was like, wow, if that's not a godsend, like saying, hey, this is what you've been thinking. So I took the leap, and it was scary at first. Luckily, at that point in time, like I was single, I didn't have a car payment, no mortgage, right? I was renting a house, had low overhead. So it was a little bit easier to make that decision at that point in time. And Casey took me under his wing and taught me a ton, taught me everything about wholesaling. Eventually, he introduced me to one of his students, Ryan Weimer. And Ryan was gracious enough to bring me on and teach me the ropes of construction and flipping houses. And so we did that for a couple years, was very successful in it. Ryan is awesome at what he does and just a great teacher, and taught me a lot about the business side of everything. So like the lead up to Real Producers at this point is like very important, right? Because I knew how to talk to people now, like present myself in a proper manner. I knew how to sell, and now I'm learning how to run a business too, right? So eventually, Ryan and I parted ways, and I was at that point in time where I was like, I wasn't sure what I was going to do. At this point, like I was getting married, no kid on the way at that point in time, but I bought in a house, had a mortgage, right? Like the pressure was on, right? Like, what do you do? What do I do? I had a couple different options in my mind. I thought about becoming a licensed agent. I thought about starting my own wholesale, my own construction company. Just again, another godsend, right? Like my father-in-law actually worked for the parent company of Real Producers.
Oh, no kidding.
And he's like, hey, Tim, there's not one here. You should look at it. So I really started doing my due diligence and learning about the platform, like what it was, what it meant, the value it provided. I always wanted to be of value and provide value in some way, shape, or form. And, it sort of aligned. I really learned about the power it had to connect people. It gave me the freedom to run my own business, be on my own time, my own schedule. And I didn't know anything about publishing a magazine, right? Like English was never my strong suit. But I knew how to talk to people. I knew how to run my own metrics, run my own business. And so we're 2 years in now, and the journey has just been unreal. Like I just buckled in, like any new business owner when they first start, like it's scary.
Yeah.
Like there was a 9-month period where I didn't make a single dollar.
Yeah.
Right.
No, yeah.
And
I know.
and your back's against the wall, and it's like, what do? Do you sink or swim? And I think a lot of people, give up before they reach the gold mine, right? The ore.
Yeah, and usually it's right before.
Right before, and I remember there was times going back to like the faith journey, like I had fully devoted my life to Jesus at that point in time too, and I remember like being in church and like just be like, what am I going to do? Like I needed X amount of sales and I was a quarter way there.
Yeah.
Like the gap was so large at that point in time. Right. And I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to do, God. Like, please show me a sign, give me something. And something in my heart just kept telling me one more day, one more day, then I would get a sale. I bring on a new advertising partner. Then one next day it happened again. And, looking at the larger picture for me, when I sort of break it down into smaller chunks, it's a little more manageable.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. Like, I don't have to climb the whole hill at once. I just, go up to the plateau, then go again, and then go again. So, without like, I really accredit like God and Jesus in my heart and my life to being able to get this thing through the finish line, because without him at that point in time, like I don't know what would have happened.
Yeah.
Right. But it's been so cool just watching it grow to where we're at now.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible. I mean, I've seen it since shortly after day one, not day one, but probably, I don't know, you tell me, but maybe like 6 to 9 months in, I think it probably became a partner, and I've seen it grow since then. And it's been pretty incredible to watch from zero to what you've created today. Can you tell us a little, let's dive deeper into Boise Real Producers. So what is it? I know it's a magazine publication, but what is it? What do you guys do? What's the goal of Boise Real Producers?
Yeah.
Give us kind of like the foundation of what it is.
Yeah. I'll take it back to like the inception, right? A good little story here. The founder of Real Producers, out of Indianapolis, his name is Remington Ramsey. He was a Cutco salesman, Cutco rep.
The knife.
Right. He's selling knives to real estate agents. And he found himself in like coffee meetings at the broker luncheons, whatever, talking to agents, spending a bunch of money to reach agents. But the agents he was talking to, they couldn't afford his gifts. Right? Like those Cutco knives, they're expensive. Right. Yeah. So he asked himself, and I'm sort of compounding this, but he's asked himself, there has to be a better way to get in front of people that can like afford my gifts, the agents that are doing most of the business. Right. So at first it started with just events, right? He's like, okay, I'm going to do events for these agents. They're going to be exclusive. We're going to get them in the same room. And he invited some other businesses to, split the cost, but whatever.
Yep.
Then that sort of morphed into like a larger platform, of highlighting agents. So there's 2 value adds. One is for the agents and one is for the affiliate businesses in the area. The benefit for the agents, what I learned very quickly when I was running around town doing nothing but talking to agents, was that there was a gap in this community that agents didn't know of each other. They knew of each other, but didn't truly know who they were working with, despite doing numerous deals with each other. They were just names on the back end of a transaction. And there was no space for them or no way for them to really get to know who they're working with. Right? Like, I'm under the impression that relationships are more important than transactions. And if you know someone on a personal level, like that transaction is going to become way more collaborative and combative.
Absolutely.
Right? So how do we do that? How do we get agents to know each other? One is we share stories. We share stories to real estate agents. This is a chaotic world we live in. And there's a lot of companies, corporations, systems, processes trying to remove real estate agents from like the transaction. And also like, people don't truly know the backstory of the real estate agents. Like I've met so many incredible people that are doing so many incredible things, giving back to the community. Christina Ward's a great example. She blesses a family with a new remodel every year. Michael Miller does it with landscaping. And those are just 2 examples. There's a ton of other people in the community that are pouring their hearts and souls back into the community. And we get to come in as real producers and share those stories, you know, really show like who they are behind the scenes, you know? So through the publication, we just share the stories. You know, we find people that are doing awesome things and highlight and celebrate them. Then we host events. You know, the events are big things because it's a space for the agents to really come get to know each other and connect with each other and collaborate on a higher level. They can come to a space where, you know, they're with their peers and not with like newer agents are awesome. Love them. Like Laurel Hamblin's a great example. You know, I featured Laurel, my second publication, and she wasn't in the top like 1,500 at that point in time.
Yep.
Right. This year, I think she was in the top 50.
Incredible.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, so you never know where a new person's going to come up to, but the experienced agents, they want a space where it's like they can talk to each other on a higher level.
Yep.
Right. You know, so we've gotten really good at being able to host events that are in new, cool places that agents want to go to that they're excited about too. Right. Then it comes to the partner side, going back to the Cutco side, right? Like we're able to provide businesses with exposure, with a targeted audience of these people that are doing most of the business in the Valley. You know, I just pulled my new numbers for 2025. Of the top 500 agents only, there was $8.4 billion in sales
in Treasure Valley.
In the Treasure Valley. That's the IMLS.
Yeah.
And that excludes most larger builder rep agents too. So like Corey Barton Home, the Toll Brothers, the Boise Hunter Home agents, they're all awesome people. They're great at what they do. I just don't include them on my distribution list. And my data. So and what was interesting about that fact too is like that number increased 10.1% from 7.6 billion the year prior. So what that tells me is that the top 500, they're expanding and they're taking over more of the market. Right. So
you have to be a top 500 agent in the Valley to qualify for real producer magazine. Is that correct?
Yes, correct. Great question. So every year when I pull my new data, you know, I'll take numbers 1 through 500. And if they're on that list, they get a couple things. One, they get the magazine free every single month, the potential to be featured for free every single month, and invitations to my events. So for real estate agents, we're a completely third-party neutral platform. Right. It's not a pay-to-play model.
You're not seeking anything from them, which is unique because they usually have everyone attacking them for something.
They get bombarded with calls and everything, and my value add to agents is like, hey, I just want to like get to know you and hear your story.
And share your story.
And share it. You know, and that's a really cool platform because at that point in time, I'm not asking them for any kind of financial compensation. You know?
That's incredible. I love it. And your events have been awesome. You've got a big one coming up here in March. Can you speak to that one a little bit? What's that event?
So this will be the first event of its type. You know, 2 years in now, coming up on the new year, what we're doing is like a toast to the top 500. Welcoming the new class of 2026 and then celebrating the returning members as well. So new event of its kind. I haven't done one of these yet.
Nice.
But again, the space is all about like celebrating those who are excelling in the industry, you know?
Amazing. What would you say is the underlying philosophy of Boise Real Producers? I know we've talked about it a little bit, but like, you know, we both operate from a place of abundance. There's plenty of business out there for everybody. Like, what's kind of like your theme when you're out there connecting with agents? What are you speaking to that's helping you nurture and develop a deeper, meaningful relationship?
I go back to the evolution of the why, right? Like my why at the beginning is not the same as it was now. And I like to ask that question to a lot of people, like, what's your why now? And what was it when you first started? And the evolution of the why is always very interesting to me. And it will always usually evolve into something bigger too. And that's what's so interesting about the why. It's not static, it's dynamic, right? Did I say that right? It's always changing. Right? So I'll go back to like August of this past year. I don't know if you recall, there was so much chaos in the world going on right now. That's when Charlie Kirk was assassinated. There was a lot of hate, anger, and rage. Like, and my heart was so heavy at that point in time. And I'm like seeing just people like just not be friendly to one another, and my heart started to shift. Now, a big factor in this too is I had a son that was coming up too, and I felt that changing. But I realized that, like, maybe there's something I can do to sort of change the status quo or use my platform in a different manner. What I realized is, like, I have a really cool platform that touches a ton of people, and we have a really cool concept. So I come into this next year is like, what I'm trying to do is lead with love. Right? Like, if we can love on one another and just know each other and truly work with each other and build deep, meaningful relationship, like, and if you can do that with one person, but it affects them in a different way, they may do it to somebody else.
Yep.
And then they may do it to somebody else. But it all starts with us individually.
Yeah.
Right? Like, and if we can lead with love and effectively do it in our sphere, it's going to trickle down.
Yep.
Right? So that's really like my personal underlying theme this year, is just to love on as many people as I can, sharing stories, connecting them, just building true, meaningful relationships in any way, shape, or form. And if that happens effectively, it can trickle down the line and everyone can be affected by it.
I love that. I do feel so blessed to be part of the real estate community here in the Treasure Valley. I mean, we talked about it earlier in the podcast, but I read a lot of the short stories from the top agents that you've interviewed, and it's just good to get to know people on a personal level.
Yeah.
It's very easy to get wrapped up in the day-to-day of the business. It's very chaotic, as you alluded to. It moves very fast. There's deadlines. It's stressful. There's lots of moving pieces to a transaction. So things often, you run into hiccups. It's just part of the business, right?
Yeah.
And it's incredible to work with people who have good leadership qualities, who remain level-headed, who are good human beings. When you have that on both sides of the transaction runs so much differently than when chaos and instinct kicks in and you're just kind of in freak out mode, right?
Yeah.
It's a very I don't like doing business that way. So it's important to remain level-headed. And we just have such a good community of people, I believe, in the Treasure Valley when it comes to real estate. I feel so blessed to be part of it and grateful for, what you're doing and how you're bringing the community together. I love to see the growth over the past 2 years. I'm so excited to see what the next 2 to 5 years hold for you and for Boise Real Producers. So anything that you'd like to leave the audience about the platform, about you, anything else that you'd like to touch on? Where can people get to know you and reach you, and how can they get involved with Boise Real Producer and speak to a few of those things?
Yeah. I'm trying to think how to effectively answer this question.
That's okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Can you repeat the question for me?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I'm just trying to, I'm wondering a couple things, like where can people find you?
Okay.
Where can they connect with you?
Yeah.
How can they best get involved with Boise Real Producers, whether they're an affiliate or an agent?
Yeah.
And is there any parting comments or anything you would have us leave us with as it relates to either Boise Real Producers, the community as a whole, et cetera?
Yeah. So I have an online presence. You can always follow me on Instagram. My website, BoiseRealProducers.com. I have all my past publications on there. All my partners are listed on there as well. We like to pride ourselves on being one of the best referral sources for real estate agents. I'm really proud to say, like, I haven't cold called a single business to ask them to be part of this. It's all organic connections and then referrals from top producers.
Yeah.
For real estate agents, if they want to get connected and be a part of this, like, one, you got to qualify to be in the top 500. But just because if you're not in the top 500 doesn't mean I don't want to connect with you, right? Like, I do rising star features as well. So being part of the community just as a whole, a greater aspect, and keeping your eyes out for it is always important, because even if you're not on that top 500, like, you still probably going to work with some of these people.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
So it is inclusive to the top 500, but not exclusive, right? So we're really trying to build a community of everyone coming together, and that includes the real estate community as a whole too. For vendor affiliates, a good partner for me is someone who values relationships over transactions, that wants to work with real estate agents, and that are awesome people predominantly.
Yep.
So couple different ways to get connected is the Instagram, their website too.
Awesome. Yeah, that's great, man. I love what you're doing again, and I really appreciate you spending some time with us today.
Yeah.
And I love being part of the magazine. I'm still partnered to this day. I love being part of it, and
we appreciate you so much, man.
Oh, you bet.
I think so highly of you, and appreciate everything you've done for me, for the platform, personally as well, and as like a friend. Like you mean a lot to me, and I really appreciate you.
Thanks, Tim. I appreciate that. Well, it's great to have you in, and look forward to what you do next.
Thanks, man.
All right.